Well, hello, my name is Tom Britton. I graduated in 1966 with my undergraduate degree in mechanical engineering, and then went on and pursued and got my master's degree in 1968. I was born in a small town in northeastern Oklahoma, Pawhuska, which is the capital of the Osage Indian Nation. My grandparents and my parents both worked in the oil industry, so I grew up in and around roustabouts and plumbers. And my father was transferred a lot, and we lived in southern Texas, mid-Texas, lived in southern Illinois, made our way back to Oklahoma in my 7th grade, I guess. Went to junior high school in Tulsa and Oklahoma City. So I had a normal sort of growing up period. I was very active in sports. I think I made pretty good grades. At least I think my parents were proud of me and encouraged me along that journey. So I just think I had a good time. I didn't exactly know where I was going. I didn't think a lot about a college degree until I became a senior in high school. And I took a physics class like everybody did, but for one reason or another, the curriculum and the physics sort of struck my fancy, and it led me to thinking about engineering, which is where I ultimately got my degree and began my career. Well, my choice is really between OU and OSU. I felt like that OSU was more my personality. As I visited the campus and learned more about it, I became even more convinced that I was much more of a cowboy personality than I was the OU type of style. Then I got a couple of nice bits of information. One of them, I was offered a baseball scholarship. Small, but nonetheless a very flattering offer. And I also got a scholastic scholarship. And it was during that time that I decided I really wanted to pursue engineering. I thought OSU had the best engineering school. And so between personality, some financial assistance, the opportunity to play some baseball, and also go to an outstanding engineering school, that just sort of came together at one point. Well, when I arrived, I was starstruck. And there was just so many people and so much to do and so much going on. I felt like I was kind of in the middle of an ant-hive. So I knew that if I was going to be an engineer, I had to put some things aside and focus on school. So between the governmental activities, interfraternity activities I talked about in my school life, I really devoted a lot of time to bringing my grades up and trying to graduate with pride and the sense that I could build a future from that. When I started school, I knew that I wanted to be an engineer, but I didn't really understand what kind of engineer I might want to be. And then during that journey, as I learned more, I took the occasion to begin interviewing companies to understand what an engineer might do in their career. And through that process, I realized that although I wanted to stay in the engineering discipline, I wanted to apply it to the pursuit of business problems and solving management issues as opposed to building bridges or designing highways. I moved to Los Angeles after accepting a position with Arthur Young & Company, which at the time was one of the big 8 consulting, auditing, and tax companies. So I began my career in Los Angeles. I stayed with Arthur Young for 20 years, where I became a partner. I was responsible for the firm's energy consulting practice. I also spent 5 years running the Orange County consulting practice and 2 years in Florida Power and Light, redesigning most of their business processes. After 20 years with Arthur Young, I resigned and joined PricewaterhouseCoopers, where I was involved in consulting to a number of large companies. In the last several years, I was highly involved in high technology industry, where my clients included Microsoft, Intel, Sun Microsystems, and so forth. When I retired, I was the Western Region Chief Operating Officer of the consulting practice, which included about 1,500 consultants. and was the global chairman of our high technology consulting practice. So I've spent my entire career in consulting, and two firms has been my home. And I've had the great opportunity to work with some of the really great organizations of the Fortune 50 size, and involved in some very complicated and interesting projects. If I had to think about the advice I could give a SEAT graduate today, I would say it really falls into two categories. One of them is begin the journey of understanding what companies offer to you early in your education. Don't wait to the last day and the last month and your last semester to do that, because the opportunities are vast, your interests are large, and try to learn more about what those companies do earlier in your career. And then secondly, I would say follow your passion. Your passion is what will get you up in the morning. Your passion is what will drive you hard when you're tired and when you're on your last leg. And try not to fit what you think the ideal is. Make sure that in that pursuit you don't lose yourself, and stay true to your inner self and what your passions are. And I think your career will unfold from there.